Come and join iLearn IAS and feel the difference.
Hi all, this is Mohammed Shinas, Director of iLearn IAS. Today with me I have Garima Lohia, who secured second rank in this year's civil service examination. Many people are actually giving the story of Garima Lohia, but I really want you to hear from what she wants to tell about her preparation journey. Garima, welcome and congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Garima, can you tell, you are basically from Bihar, right? Yeah. From Buxor in Bihar? Okay, so can you tell about your studies, your schools and all?
I was born and brought up in Buxor itself, and I did my schooling till standard 10th from Buxor only, a school over there. And then I went on to do my plus 2 from a boarding school in Banaras. And then I came to do my graduation in Delhi University, Kirori College.
So what made you to choose, you choose commerce, right? Am I correct? Yeah. So what made you to choose commerce for your graduation studies? Or have you made your mind already that you want to move in that direction?
Because I had a lot of people in my family and friends who were already pursuing chartered accountancy, so initially I had a bent of mind towards that. So I thought I'll also take up a career in chartered accountancy, and that's why I took up commerce. So then even while in college I completed my CA intermediate. So but then later on I decided to veer towards civil services.
Okay. So somewhere along the journey of trying to be a CA, you decided that okay, you need to go to UPSC. Is there any particular instance that made you to choose UPSC, or was it naturally you thought that okay, I want to be an administrator? Where was that tipping point?
While I was in plus 2 or in college, I was not very aware of what work does an administrator do or what are the...
we do seldom have that exposure to what an administrator does, right?
Yes.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, so when I went in college and then even after college, I saw my friends pursuing a career in civils, and then I started to read up work that a civil servant can do and how they can actually bring about a change on the ground. So I thought, why not, if I'm trying to put in so hard, all the hard work, why not put hard work in this, a career where I can actually make an effort to change something on the ground. So then I decided that I already have a backup plan. I have a chartered accountancy intermediate degree, so even if I do not do it, I'll do my finals. So I decided to give UPSC a chance, and then fortunately I got it.
Okay, so you gave your first attempt in 2021, am I correct?
Yeah.
But you couldn't clear the prelims, right? And see, everyone who is very interested in UPSC, many people lose their first chance, but seldom people actually come back from that, right? But you didn't come back, you come back very strongly. You come back and you secured second rank. You cleared prelims, you cleared mains, went to interview and secured second rank. So how did you come back from that? Or what was that phase of after knowing the result? So were you very much focused, or did you have this feelings that is it possible with you? And what made you to actually come back?
Initial days were also very difficult for me because it was the first failure of my entire life. I have always been a topper in my school, so it was very difficult for me to face it. But then after crying for whole 20 days and watching some series and then coming back, I decided to introspect what I did. And then I know in my heart that I did not work hard enough.
You haven't put your best, right?
Right. In fact, my level of preparation was such that for CSAT I had only solved 3 previous year papers and nothing else, and even I had not even read Lakshmikant more than twice back then. So, and I went on to give the CSE prelims, so it was but obvious that I had to fail, if not in prelims then going forward in mains. So because my preparation was not completed fully, I decided to start from the very beginning. So I then started to prepare for mains. I prepared for mains 2 months, and then I studied for prelims, and very strongly preparing every aspect of it, and thoroughly doing the previous year questions and equally focusing on CSAT.
See, there is an interesting point over there. See, right now, I think, now it's my personal opinion also, our students are actually not taught to face failures. Right? It's seldom that actually people lose something and they really don't know what to do at that point. So it is actually good, and you are actually a good role model to many of those people that, yeah, it's fine that you can lose in the first war. What is required is that you bounce back. See, there is a very famous statement from the movie Rocky, which I tell many of my students. Life is not all about getting hit. It's all about getting hit and coming back and fighting it back. So you have shown that you can fall down, but you can actually come back and hit back. Now, in the second prelims, first one you lost it, second prelims, you started focusing on your CSAT. You started doing more questions on CSAT. What about the GS side? Now, what made you? I mean, were you focusing on previous year questions? Were you focusing on solving more paper, or making sure that your static portion is? What was that strategy for the prelims at that time?
In my first attempt, I was misguided a lot, I believe. I had a lot of over focus on current affairs and I missed my static very badly. So in the next attempt and in 2021 prelims, there were very few questions from current affairs. So I think in 2022 prelims, I decided that I will make my static very strong because that is going to be one predictable portion. So polity, Lakshmikant, I did it by heart. Economics, I did it by heart, and environment. These are the three subjects. And also science. I had not even touched science because I thought I'm from a commerce background. Will I be even able to understand science? But the kind of questions that are coming in science are very contemporary from the emerging technologies, and I think it's very easy to prepare them if you give a sufficient amount of time. So I think 50 questions can be easily tackled by doing just these 4 subjects. So
this is a point that I think every prelims aspirant should take care, right? Make sure that your static portions are thorough. Then you go behind the current affairs material. Like people right now are too focused on which material to choose, whether we should go for that one or this one. But first of all, we go for the fundamental statics, then you work on the current affairs. That's very true on your side. Then once you are clear you are almost sure that you will clear the prelims, right? This time, the second attempt. Then so that you immediately started your mains preparation. So how was your mains preparation going on?
After my results, I was only skeptical if I'll clear CSAT or not, but the initial 20 days, because you have to do a lot of current affairs, so I thought not to do GS 2 and 3 because that is very current. But comparatively GS 1 and 4, you have a lot of static portion in that. The ethics paper, the history, art and culture portion. So I started with GS 4. I gave 20 days to GS 4 because, initially I started with collecting some quotes and some stories so that I can quote it. Even if I failed in prelims, that would not have been a wasted attempt, so I would have taken 20 days for that.
Okay, then you started writing more answers, making sure that, so one important aspect with respect to the whole preparation is how well you are actually able to tell something to someone in writing. So does your background, your schooling, your graduation background helped you in your writing practices, or is it something that you developed over a period?
I was always interested in reading and writing a lot. Even in my school, I used to write a lot of essays and then reading up on a lot of...
I believe you have got even awards from UN for writing essays, right?
Yes, I wrote an essay for the UN forum also and I got an award. So essay writing has always been my forte, I think, but the UPSC answer requires something different. It requires you to answer the targeted question that is being asked and answer it in subparts, have an introduction, body, conclusion, and yet not make every answer on the same format to make it very repetitive. So you have to make sure of that also.
Then once you are right, then again with respect to mains, one important aspect is the optional. See, very few people actually take commerce. I really appreciate your guts to go with your graduation subject. I think you might be one of the first person to get a single-digit rank with commerce background. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So in that sense, what made you to choose commerce? And so you really like that subject since you have already done a lot of works in commerce with respect to inter and all. So was that your choice, or okay, that's my graduation subject, I will choose it? What made you to choose that?
My only consideration was that all the other subjects in UPSC are going to be new to me. So why pick one more new subject? At least I'll have some familiarity because I have been associated with commerce since the past 5 or 6 years. So I decided I should go for commerce. And the second thing while you choose optional is also the availability of a mentor and crisp material. So I looked and I had guidance with RS sir from Rankers classes, and he really had made a lot of crisp notes, books and material. So I thought that I should go for commerce itself.
So having a good mentor is always helpful,
right,
in the preparation journey. So that's very interesting. Then it comes to the interview, right? So the final stage, so many people think UPSC interview, but rather it's a personality test. And people seldom remember that it's a PT, that we need to focus on the personality. So how was your interview preparation?
I think my interview preparation, I was given a lot of time. The results came out in December and my interview was in March. So Initially, I was lagging behind my interview preparation, but slowly I started talking to my friends and seniors, and then I started to do one-on-one mock interviews. And I got in touch with Shinas sir also, and then we did a DAF session, which is very important. I think in my actual interview, 80% questions were DAF based, and if you do not do your DAF in depth, and sir actually helps you do that, because I remember there was a subject I took in 12th, applied arts or painting, and I never even looked at it that there can be a question from that, but it was asked in my interview, what kind of paintings do you like? You had an optional. So there are aspects in your DAF that get missed when you look at it, but when an expert looks at it, they give you another perspective to it. So I think DAF based preparation is the first stage, and second is internalizing your DAF, and 360-degree evaluation of whatever is written in your DAF, and third can be your mock interviews.
And we had a lot of one-on-one sessions, and especially I remember you are ready to put in that effort late into the night, so we having those Zoom sessions, calls and all. But one thing that I was pretty sure at the time is that content-wise you had no problems, but still you were a bit skeptic about that interview. Why were you skeptic, despite the fact that you are very much knowledgeable?
There were a lot of factors, because I come from Bihar, so there were a lot of people I met in life who used to tell me, oh, you have an accent, or they'll tell you something or the other, or you look around your competitors when you go out and give mock interviews. Someone has worked with Google, someone has worked and studied in the IIMs, so then you start feeling inferior in yourself. But having a good mentor is important, because reinstilling the faith in yourself is very important. On the day of the interview, what helps you is your knowledge, of course, but also your confidence. I think the confidence with which you walk in the room and answer even the basic question makes a lot of difference.
And I remember talking with John. So John, who was my student already, he was the one who has actually introduced Garima. So John was telling me that she's a sure shot, but she's a bit skeptic, sir. So you should take care of that, sir, while you're talking. So one of my prime idea was actually to make you to believe in yourself. And you did believe in yourself, which finally resulted in an exemplary mark in PT and again a very good rank also. Now, in this journey, people would really like to know you as a person. But as someone who has actually gone to your DAF and has talked with you, I have seen that you have a pretty good interest in podcast, and again self-help also. So podcast is something that the students in the present time is not too much focusing on. So can you give an idea about how these podcasts were helpful for you?
I believe, sir, at present mental health has been ignored a lot, and I faced problems both at my personal end and in my academic career also. So podcast, especially self-help podcast, was a way for me to unwind everything that happens in the day. So we study a lot during the day, and we take a lot of pressure on ourselves, and even if we go to sleep in the night, we think that we haven't done enough. We always have self-doubts on ourselves. I think it is the worst thing that we can do to ourselves. Prioritizing ourselves first, our mental health becomes important, and for this you need something or the other. People read books, and for me it was listening to podcasts, because I already read a lot of books while preparing for UPSC, so giving rest to my eyes, I decided to just go for podcasts.
See, there is one important aspect that you told, I think, which needs to focus on. That's the importance of mental health. See, people are seldom afraid of talking about mental health, thinking that others will judge. See, if you are getting fever, you go to a doctor. If you have some medical condition, you go to a doctor. But if you are feeling stressed, you seldom take professional help, or you seldom go to actually. So as someone, mental health is very important with respect to the preparation, right? So I think you should tell something about how you how you overcome all the challenges that you have faced, or how do you ensure that your mental health is at top itself.
First of all, sir, I never hesitated from talking to my very close friends and family about how I feel burdened by their expectations. So people used to tell me, you have your first attempt, you will definitely crack it. So I always used to tell them that no, please don't say it to me, it creates unnecessary pressure. I am also a student, I am a normal human being who's trying to achieve something in life, and I'll try to do it. So I would request everyone to have such a close circle of people who you can be yourself. You can tell that no, you are weak in this, you feel underconfident in this, and not take unnecessary burden of expectations on yourself. And secondly, take breaks for yourself. yourself. You deserve it and you should take breaks for yourself. Do whatever you like. I used to make coffee for myself, bake a cake, or do anything that I like. Make Maggie in the midnight. Or just go out and take a break for a few days, because it's very important.
Now, as I was going through your interview preparation, your DAF, etc., I came to know that you have a strong panache for or strong interest in women empowerment or issues associated with it. And this year, 4 women has actually topped UPSC, right? Now, I think you would be really happy in that aspect. So, as someone who really wants to improve the condition of the women in the country, as an administrator, what is your expectation about yourself? I'm not forcing you my expectation or your other's expectation. I really want to know your expectation as an administrator.
I would only say that as a woman administrator, I would really like to bring in that perspective that a woman has in everything in life, that multitasking nature that is inherent in us, and not and in trying to be a good administrator, not lose that vision and touch of the nurturing and caring that we have always been. And it's been 33% selection this time, and I really hope it crosses 50% soon. And I'm very happy, very proud that there are so many women candidates this year.
See, I really hope that you will reach that position where someone in the future, when I'm taking an interview with her or with her, then she will be telling that, see, I remember your interview with Garima, and she was a huge inspiration for me as an administrator. And I'm really hopeful that you are going to reach that level. As an administrator, I really want to thank from my heart for all the efforts that you are going to take in the future. And you be an administrator of your choice. Let there never be any pressure on you, but you be the best of yourself.
Thank you. Thank
all
you
the
so
best.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.